What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is Friday, April 23rd, if you're listening in your audio feed. So, happy birthday to my lovely wife, AK. She turned 40 today. Pretty exciting. If you are watching us on YouTube, do not wish her happy birthday because we record early Thursday, April 22nd. You can watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/pick6. And we are live sometimes on Thursday afternoons for mailbags and Sundays. We do Sunday afternoons. Ryan Wilson and I talk draft usually with somebody pops in. I think we're going to do a live. Are we going to do a live mock draft this Sunday? Like with 4 or 5 people, you, me, Traps, Josh Edwards, going to do some picks. Joining me now to do a mailbag, Ryan Wilson and John Breech. What's up, fellas?
So I have a question, and this came up on HQ on Thursday morning. Tommy Tran from California and Brandon Baylor. Yeah, that's right. I think Brandon's either from DC or Florida. Either way, they were doing the rock, paper, scissors based on what Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, said he was doing on Zoom calls with the players to gauge their competitiveness. And Tommy does it rock, paper, scissors, and I've grown up doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I do
right?
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
No one does. Why would you say rock, paper, scissors? That's
I will say that
I
did the same thing as Tommy. I was
Bunny
a 1,
ears,
2,
Bunny
3
ears has
show.
something to say.
1, 2 show. 1, 2 show. And you know what?
You said 1, 2 show. Oh, well, 1, 2 show is different than rock, paper, scissors.
No, that's the same thing. That's what Tommy's saying. It's the same. Like you
It's
show
on
it on the third
one.
count.
No, I understand.
I got shamed as a child to doing it your guys' way, which is a horse manure way. There's not 4 options. There's 3 options. You let out on the third count.
3 options. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about there's rock, paper, scissors. There's not 4. There's only 3.
But why would you say it on scissors? The game isn't scissors. You don't want to be like scissors.
1, 2, 3, boom.
That's what you do. 1, 2, 3, boom.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, boom.
It's already out on the page.
Dunked on himself. You'd love to see it.
If I had to guess, I knew Breech was going to go that way because he says rabbit ears for quotes. He says all sorts of stupid stuff that doesn't make sense.
I say bunny ears. Thank you very much.
He's like in bunny ears, like for air quotes. Like who does that? He also says Belichick or no, Bill. What does he say?
Belichick.
And he also says, "Oh, did I delete Tyler?"
But let's not overlook the fact that Brinson broke the first rule of marriage. You don't announce your wife's age on a podcast after she turns 30.
That's 40's a big one. There's tons of stuff that Breech mispronounces.
Yeah. By the way, Breech, 40 is the new 25.
We need to have Brinson read off a list of European countries and see how many he gets correct.
So make sure and check out in the feed prospect rankings for every position. We break down literally every position by position, top 5, top 10, depending on what it is, with different experts, guys who know what they're talking about. And if you want to hear me mangle some words, go listen to the prospect breakdowns. There's mangling, baby. All out NFL draft coverage next week. Oh, yeah. Final mock draft Monday. We'll have a big prop show. Hopefully, we'll be able to find some value. There has been a ton of movement on these props already. It's wild how big these markets are, how much prop stuff you can bet on out there, and it will be interesting to see just how we can find value with as long as the market's been open. Of course, we're going to talk about it throughout the podcast, so hopefully people have been listening. Bold predictions, burning questions, and immediate reactions each night after the draft. Very excited for that. My wife is leaving town with some of her friends to celebrate her birthday and to hang out, in a post-vaccinated world. And
where are they going?
Asheville.
Oh, love it. If AK needs any restaurant recommendations, tell her to hit me up.
I'm sure you and she like the same vegan food. But the problem is she's leaving Robbie here on Friday, and she'll be here Thursday for the
it's just you and Robbie for the draft?
Or Friday instead of the draft. Sort of a problem.
Are you going to babysit her?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
That seems like a lot. The draft is a lot, man. You're going to sit the kid down and
I'd almost rather deal with him on Thursday. Like you can sort of get through Thursday.
What's his favorite movie? You're going to have to play it on a loop 7 times on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. My mother-in-law is supposed to take him, and now she's balking at it.
Maybe she's going to watch the draft, and that's why.
Maybe so. Maybe she'll be in Cleveland
So
maybe she'll be on our 6-hour Twitch stream.
we should have a trivia contest right now. Whoever wins gets to babysit Brinson's kid.
That's an interesting contest. Before we
Whoever
move on,
wins. So you win the trivia contest and you get to babysit Robbie for 2 days.
Breech isn't great at making trivia contests. But before we move on,
I don't pretend to be.
I wanted to ask Debo. Debo, what do you do on the rock paper scissors? Because we moved on too quickly from that.
I'm with you and
Okay.
Yeah, and most of America
Yeah,
and
get out
the
of here,
world.
Breech. I'm actually Breech. It's Team Breech, Team Tommy Tran, and of course Chris Hassel would be on that team for some random reason.
Chris Hassel says,
Do it the dumb way. He also hates mac and cheese, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
now, that is bizarre. You could say, I don't mind if you're like 1, 2, 3, and you go on 3.
On the
No,
That's what I do. I don't.
but you don't, because you go rock, paper, scissors. That's stupid.
No, I do 1, 2, 3. I was saying
You
that
never
Tommy.
said that. You
Tommy
never
does
said that.
Yes,
you never
Tommy-
said that.
I was saying what Tommy said. Rock, paper, scissors. I do it on the same count. Is what I said.
So when you play,
I don't
how
use
do
the same
I
words.
want you to play right now. Do what you do.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, this feels like a lie. Like you've been shamed into doing this, and you
No, not
changed
at all.
it.
That's. I said I did it on the same count as Tommy, not the same words. You can go back check
No,
footage.
no.
check the word.
In fact, you said something else. You said it was like 1, 2 snarf or something very weird. I can't remember what it was. What'd you say it was? It wasn't 3.
1, 2, go.
Years.
What did he say?
1, 2 rabbit ears, butt
Yeah.
ears.
What did you say, Breech? You said 1, 2 something.
Wait, let's just move on.
Oh no. What did you say?
I caught in a lie.
I honestly don't remember.
You don't go
Because
on 3.
I know the answer is 1, 2, 3.
All right. Sorry to bring it up.
That's fine.
Breech is
I
wrong.
can't
is
believe
what
me
it
and
is.
Tommy Tran are the only 2 people at CBS Sports
And
who know how
Hassel.
to properly play this game.
By the way, Debo, since your mic appears to be working just fine, where do you fall on the wow? Nick Sirianni just told us that he spends his time with prospects playing rock, paper, scissors. Nothing burger or massive red flag?
Like I said, I'm trying to keep a positive headspace. Still haven't read the athletic article, so I'm sure that was great. Things with Sirianni, I'm not overreacting. His introductory press conference, like everybody freaked out about that. I didn't freak out. I wish I was a little bit more encouraged by him. I wish he sparked a little bit more excitement in the fan base, but that's yet to be seen.
His press conferences have not been great,
Which is fine. Like, if you can command the locker room, I'm fine if you're not outstanding with the media.
Yeah, I think he's actually a good coach. I don't care about the rock paper scissors thing. Doesn't bother me. What bothers me more about rock paper scissors is that Breech is doing it the way he does it.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I'm on the website of the World Rock Paper Scissors Association looking for the official rules right now. I'm doing literal research while you guys talk about this nonsense.
no one else in the world needs to do research because it's 1, 2, 3 shoot. That's why you say it on shoot. You certainly, I don't know what kind of weird geographical place Tommy Tran grew up in where you said rock, paper, scissors. Like that makes no sense. All right, moving along. Anyway, yeah, the Sirianni thing, you don't want to judge a coach just on his press conferences because that seems silly, but coming out and like saying you're going to be smarter than everybody else and you're going to establish this culture that's like, that's we're going to have an intellectual edge to it. And he stammered through he's like, we're going to do things like, and then you come back and say, rock, paper, scissors is what we do. And we get prospects in there to see how competitive they are. Because,
Well, who's going to have the last laugh if the Eagles win the Super Bowl next year? Nick Sirianni. And you know who's going to be playing rock, paper, scissors during their combine interviews? Everyone else. That's right.
Look, I mean, I'd much rather have him stammer through and actually follow through on those things than have Chip Kelly just like nail the press conferences and be super impressive and talk this big game and then fall through on everything. So
sure. Again, I'm not saying you want to. I'm not saying we're judging him. I'm just saying that the rock, paper, scissors thing is kind of bizarre. Like that's how you tell if a prospect's competitive. What if they never played it before and they're weirded out by it?
would you rather be a pen or pencil?
Oh,
Also,
exactly.
sure. What kind of vegetable are you? If you were a vegetable, what kind of vegetable would you be?
You got to say eggplant, right? Isn't that the right answer?
We didn't bring this one up.
That's not the right answer, Ryan.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
BMAC followed up and he said the Bears had asked, does he prefer his food from the microwave or from the stove, which just seems like a clear answer. But how would you guys answer that?
Do you prefer your food from the microwave or the stove?
Like cooked in the microwave or on the stove?
I prefer the stove, but
mean-
if I'm in a hurry, I'll use the microwave.
Yeah,
that's
prefer the
answer.
stove, use the microwave.
If my
right?
wife is doing it, she'll put it in the stove because she hates the microwave. If I'm doing it, like I will literally throw a chicken, like a whole chicken, inside the microwave just because I want.
See, with that question, it sounds like the team wants to know if you're lazy. Like, oh, you're a microwave guy. All right,
Oh yeah, dude.
we're not drafting you.
Well, but it costs to be, are you efficient?
Huh?
Yeah, but do you want to eat a rubber chicken? I mean, that's the trade-off.
Right. I mean, the stove is clearly better. I think if it was like if you have a frozen meal, do you take, because it's going to take 45 minutes to get it. You have to prepare early. You have to start cooking it 45 minutes ahead of time. Whereas if you're starving, you can cook it in 4 minutes in the microwave. And I always think to myself, man, I should throw this in the stove. I'm not waiting 45 minutes for this Amy's burrito bowl or whatever it is.
When's the last time you think some of these elite college prospects have prepared their own meals?
That's the other question. I mean, maybe when they went home over the summer and they were on their own, but even
So
then,
what-
they may have gone to Chipotle. We don't know.
I'm assuming that you're saying that the answer they want is stove, right?
Who the hell knows? I mean, what kind of question is that? Is the bigger, like pencil or pen? What are we talking about? Crayon. How about that?
What? That's a little too outside the box. Don't like people who color outside the box. Get it? Oh,
Outside the lines. Go ahead. Ask a question. You have something to do.
oh, you mean a mailbag question?
All right, guys. I would just like I just did a BuzzFeed quiz about which vegetable I am, and I'm a carrot. There you go.
All right, Ryan, I would like you to do a BuzzFeed quiz real quick too, please.
Send it over.
I'm sending it. We can start the mailbag, and Wilson can fill out the quiz.
Oh, that is a good question. What would you like to be in? A casserole, a salad? If you were a vegetable, what would you want to be in? Soup, salad, casserole, sandwich, ratatouille, or pizza?
I'm sorry, Wilson. Now the mailbag's never going to start.
This might be the episode. Will.
Brinson's going to miss his wife's 40th birthday. This is a disaster.
All right.
Uh,
oh, here we go. All right.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'd rather be in I think I'd rather be in a wrap.
Wrap would be a good choice.
Well,
I
there's a
don't-
lot of questions, so you need to fill it out. If we go through all of them, that's going to be a separate podcast.
Choose a vegetable that isn't popular. Lotus root. I never daikon. I've never heard of these vegetables.
Oh,
What
it's
is that?
delicious.
Finally, choose a word to describe you that could also be used to describe a vegetable. Tender, fresh. Oh, I'm rotten. I am an onion. I don't know, man. Who cares? All right, let's go to the
Mailbag.
from a 5-star man. This is from Ray from Iowa via Apple Podcast. Wilson, just chime in whenever you figure out what vegetable you are. I was getting whooped in Madden again. It made me think back to better days when they had a rewind feature so you could redo one terrible play per game, like throwing a pick or giving up a big play TD. If I could do that for a game in recent-ish memory, the Cowboys, are walking out of Green Bay with a W in 2015 because Dez caught it. And that team could have beaten Seattle and then New England, maybe. Would love to hear one play that you change. I will first ask you guys, were the Cowboys to win that game in Green Bay, would they have gone on to win the Super Bowl?
I don't even remember what year was that?
2015.
So who ended up in the Super Bowl that year? You got to refresh my memory.
Seattle and New England, man.
Oh, no, they're not beating the Seahawks.
Because remember, Russ then beat the Packers the following week in the NFC Championship game in overtime.
Because that Seahawks team obviously.
And then the Malcolm Butler
But
play.
also that Seahawks team was trailing big time
And this is the 2014 season.
against
excuse
that
me,
Packers
2000
team.
Yeah.
That was the one where the Packers blew like the 2-touchdown lead in the final 3 minutes against the Seahawks the next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had the lead, and the Seahawks came back and beat
Yeah,
them in
that
overtime.
was the Seahawks lost to the Cowboys at home. That
That
was
is
one, like,
correct.
the Seahawks never lost at home. Like they just didn't lose at home the first 3 or 4 years Russell Wilson was there, and that was one of their very, very few home losses.
That is correct.
I
Tony.
mean-
Yep, that's
Yep.
right. DeMarco Murray, 28 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown in a 30-23 victory over the Seahawks in Seattle. Not primetime, Jason Garrett beat Pete Carroll in Seattle. Whew, what a world. So yeah, I think it's possible. I'm not going to go so far as to say that Jason Garrett would have outcoached Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if they're getting past the Seahawks, but that's just me.
I think they beat the Seahawks and then lose to the Patriots. Also, this is a good time to point out, as I like to, that Jerry Jones once told, I believe it was Mike Silver, that after the eve of the 96 Super Bowl, which is the last one the Cowboys appeared in and won, that he prayed and said, if God, dear God, if you give me this Super Bowl, I promise I won't ask for nothing else ever again. No, nothing else. And so the big guy handed him the Super Bowl and haven't given him one since. So maybe be careful what you ask for, Jerry. Anywho, Breech, I'm going to start with you here because I have to assume that your moment involves the Bengals getting their backs broken in a Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't even want to bring it up. You know what is funny? I could have said a Super Bowl because both losses were close, but it wouldn't be Joe Montana to John Taylor. If that doesn't happen, the 49ers are in field goal range for like an under 30-yard field goal, so they probably tie it. It goes to overtime. So taking that play away doesn't guarantee a Bengals win, so I can't use that game. The game I can use is a game I don't even want to bring up because Ryan brings it up at least once a week and rubs my face in it, and it is the same year the Bengals Steelers playoff game, not the Carson Palmer one, but the other. There's two of them. There's so many of them that I have to clarify which one I'm talking about. And the play I would get rid of is Jeremy Hill's fumble with 1 minute and 26 seconds left. It's not the Vontaze Burfict craziness. It is not the Pac-Man Jones unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. 30 yards in penalties on one play. It is the Jeremy Hill fumble with 90 seconds left. If that does not happen, the Pac-Man stuff doesn't happen, the Vontaze Burfict stuff doesn't happen, and A.J. McCarron somehow escapes with a playoff win against the Steelers. So that's my play. Jeremy Hill fumble.
Celery. So here's the deal. I want to make Breech feel a little better about himself.
Ooh.
I would change that Ryan Finley debaclement that we all had to sit through. How are you going to lose to that backup quarterback? I'm in the middle of texting back and forth with my wife about what time practice is for my son's tennis practice today. So this is the whole thing that I'm dealing with. How do you lose to Ryan Finley?
Nobody cares.
Well, I'm telling you why I'm sort of distracted. This is what it's like to work with Brinson every day. So here's the other game that I'm going to go to. The more important game, I suppose, unless you're on the hook for a Ryan Finley tattoo. Again, we're going to go back to the Packers, and it involved the Seahawks.
Ooh.
And it's the January 2015 playoff game where Mike McCarthy, every single time that the Packers got down to the 1-inch line, had Mason Crosby kick a field goal. And, of course, they lost. I think they lost the game in overtime, right, on that crazy play to end it. But either way, I'm reading the recount of that story, and Packers facing 4th and goal at the 6-inch line in the first quarter. McCarthy kicks field goal. Packers facing 4th and goal at the 1-yard line on the very next possession, field goal. So they were up 6-0 and eventually obviously lost that game. In the second quarter, the Packers faced 4th and 1 at the Seahawks 22-yard line, kicked another field goal. So, I think Packers fans, for as happy as they were about the Dez game, probably were just as frustrated about how that played out. Because Mike McCarthy did what Mike McCarthy does. And by the way, after that year off, Mike McCarthy appears to be the exact same coach because he had issues last year with the way he was calling games for the Cowboys in terms of being way too conservative.
Indeed. I will give a good answer since that one was terrible. That's it? That's your...
That one? They should have gone...
I'm just talking about your life as a Steelers fan. You're like, I want to change the Ryan Finley Monday night. I mean, I guess the tattoos.
Well, here's the other one. I mean, that comes immediately to mind is the game in which they were down 500-0 last year against the Browns. In the beginning of the fourth quarter, they punted. Go for it, you morons! Like they're reeling. Yeah. I don't even know what it would have cut it to that point. But if they had gone for it on 4th down, they would have gotten it and they would have won that football game because what was it, 28-0 or whatever it was. There was no coming back.
I mean, you wouldn't take back the Tim Tebow touchdown pass in overtime?
That was 2015 too, I think, right?
2011.
Down hard. What is going on with you, Wilson? What are you? He's
distracted.
Did you take a shot? Did you take a
I think that Mike McCarthy one's pretty good.
We're in the midst of draft season. Wilson is full. He's got mock drafts running his head like sugar plums.
No, I mentioned Ryan Finley. Like last year, I mean, that team, they should have beat, you shouldn't be down 20-0 or whatever it was to the Browns. The Tim Tebow thing, I mean, it was not fun to watch at the time.
But the whole point is the guy was something like for your own team, something that pains you.
Oh,
like
okay.
Change one play.
Well, I started with Ryan Finley. I think that's a great place to start.
I think that's fair because he has to get a tattoo.
Yeah, but I was just thinking in the broader terms as well. But yeah.
Okay, my answer.
And you don't have a team, so how can you even take part in this question?
Well, I've rooted for football teams in my life.
The football team?
I'm going to tell you about this Philip Rivers story that really still hurts me. Go ahead.
That is actually correct. Well, first I was trying to think of something. I thought of a Braves, it just reminded me of like a Lonnie Smith base running era in the 91 World Series. Like just go back and change that. And all of a sudden maybe the Braves win a bunch of World Series. But for football, I thought of the Panthers Pats Super Bowl. I was trying to think of something extremely egregious, but I don't remember.
There's a kick out of bounds. Who was
John Casey kicked it out of bounds. Yeah. That would be it. Don't kick it out of bounds. Maybe Brady doesn't get in Vinatieri field goal range. Maybe the Panthers win the Super Bowl. So that's a great call. I knew there's something. I was just forgetting it. So that was one, and then the other one was the Marlon McCree fumble. Back in the 2007, after the 2007 season, so it would have been 2006 season, 2006 Chargers in 2007, 6 minutes and 24 seconds left in the game. Chargers are leading 21-13, 4th and 8. Tom Brady throws a duck into the middle of the field. Marlon McCree, part of that awesome Chargers defense, easily snares it. And he takes off running, and Troy Brown strips him, and the Patriots recover. And then Brady tosses a touchdown pass to Rashae Caldwell with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. They run the fake, the fake snap to, I think it was Kevin Faulk, who runs in for the 2-point conversion. Pats get the ball back, kick a field goal to go up, and then Nate Kading, maybe the kicker, misses a 54-yard field goal, and the Chargers lose. If Marlon McCree simply bats the ball down, the Chargers probably win that game and probably go on to win the Super Bowl because they were one of the best teams in football that year.
There you go.
So that was okay. You guys don't seem to really care about that one.
I do. I was just thinking there are so many plays. Like I'm sure like Vikings fans, like literally any kick in our history, we would love to have back. Blair Walsh against the Seahawks, Gary Anderson against the Falcons.
Yeah. I mean, the bad teams have a lot of these,
I know, but
like, what if a Patriots fan came out and said, you know what I would change is the David Tyree helmet. It's like, shut up. You're not going to change anything. You got 6 Super Bowls. Shut your mouth.
Yikes.
Anything, we change it back the other way. You try to ask for something changed, you get something changed on you.
There's 2 helmet catches in the game. That's what we change.
No, we flip it where the John Casey doesn't kick out of bounds, or what the Super Bowl they allegedly cheated. Yeah, you don't get Malcolm Butler. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch runs it, or
I was gonna say the Patriots they gave up the helmet catch, and then between the Russell Wilson interception at the 1 and the crazy Julian Edelman catch in the Super Bowl against the Falcons, they had plenty of plays go their way. I don't think they can really complain.
Everyone the only Super Bowl that they've won that hasn't been insanely close was the first one over the Eagles
and the Rams.
That was a close game.
I mean, it was, but nobody thought the Rams were going to win. By halftime, it was pretty clear the Rams could not do anything.
Their first 3 were all decided by 3 points.
Yeah, it's a 3-point Super Bowl. What are you talking about? Even the second.
The Rams. What are you talking about? They beat the Rams by double digits. They beat the Eagles by 3 points. The one
I thought you were talking about the Rams, the first Super Bowl.
No.
The second Rams Super Bowl. Yeah. It was still a close game though.
I forgot they played the Eagles and the Rams twice.
Yeah, they did. All right, moving along. Unless Wilson has any more random moments from NFL history that he wants to bring up.
No, thank you, though. I feel like you're being sarcastic.
I am. Mailbag question / Bengals dunk opportunity. Oh, we love it. From Dana42 via Apple Podcast. If you ever need a reason to dunk on Breech, just mention the Bengals indoor practice facility GoFundMe.
Bunny ears, by the way.
Yeah, he handily linked to it. Did you guys visit the site yet?
I did.
No.
It's amazing. 3.5 months. They have been doing this. Oh, Debo, can you put this up on the share? Let's see if we can share this on the screen.
He's frantically trying to see what it looks like, as am I.
No. Debo's doing it so he can put it up as part of the shared screen. 3.5 months. Some Bengals fan has started this 3.5 months ago. They are looking to raise $12.5 million. The goal they set on there is that if each one of the 500,000 Bengals followers on Instagram of the team's official Instagram, which is surprising they have that many. I just figured that Bengals fans weren't smart enough to use Instagram. If each one of them donated $22, they could get to $12.5 million pretty quickly to give the Bengals a practice facility, which is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Brian, do you know how much money they've raised? Have you looked yet?
I have looked.
Okay.
Breech, have you looked, Breech?
I've looked. I knew.
So everyone knows.
They've raised $72.
Now, in the fans' defense, that's $72 more than the Bengals have raised trying to put together an indoor practice facility. So this is like a big thing in Cincinnati. The Bengals are the northernmost NFL team that doesn't have an indoor bubble. Like, I live in Nashville. The Titans have a bubble. We are 5 hours south of Cincinnati, and the Tennessee Titans have a indoor practice bubble. So, you know, and there's been a theory that one of the reasons the Bengals have struggled in the playoffs is because they're practicing outdoors in January, trying to prep for a game when the team they're playing gets to practice in a bubble. And if the Bengals do need a bubble, you know what they do? They go to the University of Cincinnati. They have to bus over there, and they're going to a college. You're taking a college team's bubble because you're too cheap to buy your own bubble. It is literally insanity. Hopefully they eventually get a bubble because it seems like the decision makers have gotten a little brighter over there, but it just blows my mind they don't have a bubble. And so you guys can always dunk on me with this GoFundMe, and I will just take the dunk to my face.
Ho, ho, ho! Up high, down hard. Is this the thing that went viral? Is anybody talked about it? Or is this?
Well, the practice facility has been a talking point for a long time, right? Breach, the lack of coaching staff, like the lack of weight room. It's been everything, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, but once they have a real nice weight room now at Paul Brown Stadium. They have,
is it nicer than the weight room that the women had in the NCAAs?
I think so.
Okay,
I think so, Wilson. But it is. They still don't have this indoor practice facility that pretty much every other team has, and it's just mind-boggling. An NFL team just doesn't fork over the money to pay for this.
So let me ask you this, assuming you know, because Mike Brown, the Brown family, is on the team forever, and presumably the reasons for the lack of infrastructure compared to other NFL teams is that he's cheap. But if clearly they're working in the black, is he just cheap and he wants to make as much money as possible, or is he like having trouble turning this into a financial windfall?
I mean, if you can't make money off it, I don't think he wants to do it. He looks at it like, oh, well, I'm going to pay $3 million. It doesn't cost $12.5 million. I think these things cost like $3 to $5 million. And he's thinking, why would I invest that kind of money for something we're going to use like 15 to 20 times a year?
It's like my dad.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not paying for that.
NC State had one built recently, and it ended up taking up a ton of tailgating parking space. I think it is a pretty attractive thing for a team to have, but it matters more for, I guess it matters for the pros because you can practice indoors, but I think it probably matters more for college because it's an attractive recruiting tool.
Yep.
We can take it off the screen now, Debo, if you want. Anyway,
but it's also an attractive recruiting tool for free agents in the NFL. You don't want to be thinking you're in Cincinnati. It gets cold there in December. You don't be practicing outside every day and getting pneumonia.
Do you think when the free agents come by, they drive over to the Cincinnati indoor practice facility and try to use that as a selling point?
I think when they get there, they're sitting there talking to the coach, and they're like, all right, now can you show me the indoor practice facility?
You're looking at it. Close your eyes. That's it.
Do you think that happens? I don't know if that happens.
No, it's a joke. Jeez. Captain Literal.
All right, whatever. I'm trying to tweet out this. The
GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe. All right, moving along to the next one. Oh, and sorry. Well, that was weird. Danny asked as well. I love the pod, though. In all seriousness, I can relate as a Seattle Mariners fan to the Bengals' plight. Best NFL podcast. Awesome NFL podcast. Never miss an episode. Mailbag question. Let's say the Bengals go 0-17 this year and decide to fire their entire coaching staff right down to the equipment manager. Then they decide to fill the entire staff with Pick Six super friends and podcast regulars. Pete, Brady, RJ, JJ, Bryant, and whoever else I didn't think of off the top of my head. Who gets what job? Thanks, Darren from Newfoundland, Canada.
Newfoundland, number 1. And number 2, Darren, I shouldn't have corrected the way your hometown is spelled because you didn't even include me in your list here.
But you're not.
Well, I think he assumes we're on the list because it's to us. He knows who does the mailbag.
You're not a regular.
I'm not.
You're
offended.
a super friend.
Okay.
He said entire staff with pick 6 super friends. That's the 3 of us. And
but look at the coaching staff. I'm not on the coaching staff. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, he didn't do that. I filled that out.
Oh, you jerk. Where am I? Sorry, Darren.
I was trying to build it out.
I take that back, Darren. That as always, it's Brinson's.
Yeah, I made myself the head coach.
That's why I had some concerns about where Darren was going.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So, like, who would be the head coach out of the? Is it Prisco?
I mean, it's got to be you or Prisco. But if it's Prisco, we're running the ball 70%. We're learning the game. That's all he's going to tell us every practice.
I think Prisco is the general manager.
I don't know. I think Wilson. I think you're the general manager.
But they said, well, no. Pete would be the general manager, I think. But they said fire the coaching staff. So I didn't know if he was including front office there. That was where I sort of stopped halfway through because I got a little confused. I had RJ listed as sort of the Ernie Adams. Like I want RJ up in the
RJ's running the analytics department.
I want RJ up in the box with like with binoculars, like explaining what tendencies are going on and how to adjust on the fly. I don't know that Pete would be. The problem with Pete is, as the head coach, he's not going to let his coaches coach.
I think he has to be the GM. You mean?
All right, we'll make Pete the GM. But then Pete's.
You know who could else be the GM?
Then Pete can fire everybody. That's not really great.
The other GM could be what's that guy's name? Oh, Scott Pioli.
I don't know. Does Pioli count as a regular? He's been on the podcast.
Oh, that's true. He's a CBS regular, but right, he's on the podcast a lot. Okay, fair enough. All right, so Prisco's the GM. I'm fine with Brinson being the head coach because I want to watch that Fire Fest burn down.
I'm just going to manage. I got quality people underneath me.
Do you think Brady and BMAC are going to work for you though? Like, will they be okay with that?
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting paid an offensive coordinator, defense coordinator salary.
Yeah. I mean, I think Brady would definitely try and like
let me put it to you in terms
of some sorts.
I was going to say, let me put it to you in terms you can understand. Do you think the offensive defensive coordinators for the Browns are happy playing for Freddie Kitchens?
Who else would you potentially use as offensive? Like who would be the head coach? I just think you have to have Brady and BMAC as the play callers.
So they have to be because they know the intricacies of the NFL better than anybody that comes on the podcast. If you play in the NFL, you understand it better than anybody who didn't, obviously. And so I think that has to be the answer.
Emery's the running backs coach because he's a former running back in college.
Oh, that's a good call.
Who else do you have on the show? JJ. I think JJ has to work in the front office. I will be the assistant GM who actually has more power than everyone. Actually, I'll be the owner. That's what I feel like. No, I'll be the I'll do the scouting stuff since I don't have a place on the game.
You can lead up the scouting department.
No, yeah. The reason you and Pete aren't on here is because I didn't know if we were going to do just coaching staff or include the front office.
My feelings have been hurt. There's no walking this back.
Wilson is the coach of another team in the AFC North, and he's going to crush Brinson. That's what it sounds like.
And our first signing is going to be Ryan Finley, and we're going to beat you with Ryan Finley.
And then you have to get a tattoo.
I love that this question is about the Bengals because it's a completely believable situation that they go 0-17, fire everyone. They're like, you know what? Let's just hire. Let's go a different route here. Let's hire a podcast group.
They're like, we're still paying Zach Taylor. Let's just hire these podcast guys for nothing, and then if they don't work out after a year, we'll have the money loosened up to hire a real coach.
Hey, I got one quick question for Breech.
All right, Ryan, if there was no front office, what coach would you want?
What job would I want? Yeah. I don't know if I want to be a coach.
I sort of thought about making Pete the equipment manager just so like everybody could pick on him and he had no recourse like to get back.
Had to take it. Yeah. I don't know. What do I? Maybe I should be the offensive line. Like, what am I going to do? I have no idea.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's not a whole lot of great slots for.
I would be fine being the guy that, although this doesn't happen, this only happens in college.
I know who you can be.
Who?
You can be my get back coach.
Oh God, I would be.
You have to grab my shorts every time I'm running on my pants. Every time I run down the field.
You know what I would be? I would be the push out coach. I would push you out into the traffic.
Walking down the street, Wilson shoves me in front of a bus. Whoops.
So Breech, what are your thoughts on Joe Burrow saying that he thinks Zach Taylor's going to have a long, successful career in Cincinnati? Like on the believability scale, is that a 1 to 10? Where are you?
That's a 4. You know, you put the quarterback on the spot. He can't say anything else. He can't be like, God, this guy, you should have seen, we blew a few leads last year that would have been not blown if we had a competent coach. But, you know, like I've been saying, I'm not completely against Zach Taylor. I wanted him back for a third year. This is the make or break year. That's it.
Again?
No, it was never, I never thought they would fire him after year 2, that he was going to get a third year, and this is it. So it's, you put up or shut up this year. That's how I feel about it. I think that's how
All right.
Joe Burrow probably feels on the inside, but on the outside, he's saying this guy's going to be here forever and we're going to win 12 Super Bowls.
By the way, again, my apologies to Darren for thinking that you made this list. It was Brinson's fault, so I don't want you to.
I mean, I do believe that you have to go into this. If you're Joe Burrow, you have to go into this, or any professional athlete, you have to go into the season believing you can win a Super Bowl with your team as it's constituted. I know that's probably not always true. You know, like,
I'll mention his name again, Freddie Kitchens. No one believed that team was winning the Super Bowl.
Freddie Kitchens did.
That team
he didn't even.
I'm just saying that I think that like 90% of these professional athletes, I mean, maybe in NFL it's different teams. Like somebody goes to the Jaguars, you're like, look, we're not winning the Super Bowl. You know, like we're not going to win it.
You're saying it, but the reality is that, you know, it's not a good football team.
I mean, okay. Anywho, let's
here's the test. If Sean McVay is coaching the Bengals, are they winning more or fewer games than if Zach Taylor coaches the Bengals with the exact same roster? That's my point.
Many more.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Zach Taylor, somebody pointed this out. Like, Zach Taylor is not even a real, like, nobody cares about the fact that Zach Taylor is 6-25-1.
Somebody does.
No, nobody cares. He's won 6 games in 2 years. And nobody seems to care. It's like, well, hey, it's the Bengals.
He beat the Steelers, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, he's got a tie. All right, coming up after the break.
I think the other thing about the Bengals, the stat that was thrown out by Warren Sharp is that over the past 2 years, the Bengals have held a lead in 24 of their 32 games, and he somehow only won 6 of those. So it's like he's confident enough to keep the team in these games. They're not getting blown out. You know, I've said all along that the Bengals are fun to watch. Their games are fun to watch. They just end up losing. So you got to figure out how to not lose.
That's the directive from the owner.
Just figure out how to not lose.
Got it, Coach.
Yeah, good call, Coach. Okay, coming up after the break, what aspects of soccer would we like to see football incorporate? We'll tell you next. So Josh from London says, hi, guys. Love the show. As a Brit, fairly new to the NFL world, it's great to hear a podcast that has the banter while also being very informative. Thank you. I'm sure this question has about as much chance being read out as my 9-team NFL accumulator coming in. That's the UK word for parlay.
Accumulator, I like that.
But here goes. If you guys could take one thing about soccer to improve the NFL, what would it be? And vice versa. If you could take one thing from the NFL to improve soccer, what would it be? For context, this can be anything from a rule change to the way teams are run, etc. All the best, JB. So this is, by the way, if you leave a 5-star review, we're getting to that question. Much better chance than a parlay. Really more like a sort of a money line against whoever's playing against the Bengals, like minus 200.
Minus 200. Who's
minus
playing
500?
minus, I was going to say.
The Dolphins. So I immediately thought of, how about this?
Man, you did your homework this time. Amazing.
I did. I don't know what was going on. How about this? Games start on time. Like if the game is scheduled for 3:00 or 1:00, the game starts at 1:00. And the other
no, does it not start on time?
I guess football is okay about it.
What are you talking about? What game?
There's always like a pregame lead up. Just start it.
Oh, all right. Well, I like your other one a lot better.
What other one?
The rest of your sentence that I don't want to steal your.
Oh, exactly 90 minutes. I just mean that soccer to me, the beautiful thing about soccer is that you sit down at 3:00 to watch a game, and it is kicking off at 3:00, and it is 90 minutes long, and there's no
commercials, no messing around.
Yeah, no commercials. Just get the sport in. They take a long halftime break, and then you get the second half. That's why it's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, the 90-minute thing, I would love that because we would not be podcasting during the season at 2 a.m. We'd be podcasting at 9:30 p.m. And,
That's what you think, Wilson. There would just be more windows, more
That's
TV
true.
windows.
That's
There'd
right.
be
There'd
a
be-
game kicking off at 10 p.m.
There'd be 5
That's
games. That's a
probably
good
true.
point. All right.
Yeah, they'll
can't
get there
wait.
eventually anyway. What else for soccer, Wilson?
I'm going to take the controversial angle and go with VAR, which is the soccer version of instant replay, but everything is under review in VAR. And the funny thing is, even when they VAR stuff, it's so like down to the hair of the leg of the person who may or may not be offsides that sometimes gets people fired up. But at least it would be right. I know VAR sometimes isn't always right, but I think the idea of being able to instant replay everything as opposed to just a random assortment of penalties that you may or may not think are important. And I will say this, soccer officials and lines people have done a much better job of not immediately calling a player offsides. They let the play unfold, which is equivalent to just blowing the whistle dead on a fumble or whatever that isn't a fumble. Let's see what happens. We can always go back. That's the whole point.
The other thing I would do, I'd love to see a super league.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun. We got you, Champions League rules,
I love
suckers. Yeah, boy. My son's very into saying, "Yeah, boy."
There you go.
My
That's a pure
one rule
concord.
for each league. I would like the NFL to steal this from. I would like the NFL to relegate teams. It would hurt me the most. I'm a Bengals fan, but you know what? You need an incentive to win. If you get relegated, you don't get a cut of the huge NFL profits because you're down in the B League. So that would be costly to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And then for the NFL implementing a soccer rule, I would like to see a goalie type person allowed on long field goals. So like, you have a guy back there receiving the kick, that guy would be allowed to jump up and block it if he can.
It's funny though. You talk about or ironic even, the idea of relegation is that maybe that would prompt Mike Brown to spend more money to stay in the first division as opposed to going down a division where he would lose money because there's not as big of payouts for being not in the NFL.
I like the idea of relegation.
Breech isn't even listening to my point. Well, that's okay.
I like it.
You have no idea what I just said.
What did he say?
He said something.
See, you got to be better at that, Breech. That's like the thing that I'm the best at is looking like I'm not paying attention or listening, and then but actually hearing what you're saying.
I was reading the replies to Brinson's dumb tweet about the Bengals.
What a dumb tweet! It's a good tweet. I actually didn't think of anything. It's not like I didn't do my homework. I just didn't read the
classic Brinson.
I didn't have any NFL to soccer stuff. I don't know exactly what I would do for that. Any suggestions there?
No,
I'll give you all my suggestions.
I'm just trying to think how you would incorporate football stuff into soccer.
Make the ball oval.
Ooh.
Then it's just rugby.
Everyone has to wear helmets, but same rules, everything else.
You can only use your hands. You can't use your feet unless you're a kicker or a punter. Put yard lines on the field.
Put a post above the goal in soccer, and if they hit it with the ball, it's worth a goal.
There you go. See, the possibilities are endless.
I should be the commissioner of soccer. Is that a job?
No,
it is now.
It should be. Give me that
okay,
job.
Moving along. Great question, though. Thanks, Josh from London. Hello, Canadian listener here. Real international flair.
Ooh.
If the NFL is from Shakira24, if the NFL and NBA swap jerseys with corresponding teams in the same city, which team would look the best on the NFL side? RIP Raptors, sad face. Also, love the pod. Love you, all you guys. Wilson bullying everyone is awesome. Hope you have a nice day. Shakira, I hope you have a very nice day as well. Thank you for the kind words. This was tough because I found, I mean, again, I did my homework for this one, which was fortunate, but I found that in looking at the NBA teams and thinking about their jerseys and how they would go onto football teams, some of them were really tough to envision, even though they're like good NBA colors. For instance, one team that I thought would make a lot of sense, but then I had trouble picturing it, was putting the Bulls red jerseys on the Bears.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
You put the Bulls logo on the helmet.
Yeah. So I think that would be a really good answer. I was sort of picturing him as like I guess it's a little more little not quite crimson like Alabama. I guess it'd be a little more like the Cardinals, but with the Bulls. So I could see. I like that one as a possible example.
I like that one.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that Devo should weigh in on. Like, are you doing like?
I have a list of 5 teams I thought made sense. Would you like me to read them?
I think I see one of them. I like the Philly one. Go ahead.
I like the idea of putting the Suns uniforms on the Cardinals. That was my favorite one because they're like a purple and orange. You know, it's not a very like traditional NFL color. I just think it'd be I think it would look cool, especially for a desert team. The Nuggets and all their fluorescence on the Broncos would be a little interesting. That sort of dark maroon. Nice. Yeah, I think that could be cool. They have like the yellow and the gold and the dark maroon. Or not? Wait, is that maroon? Sorry, the navy. The navy.
Who's the team that wears pink occasionally?
The Heat. I like that.
Or is that occasional?
Occasional. That's what I was going to say. I have the Heat into the Dolphins. Let's put the pink Heat on the Dolphins, which sounds kind of weird.
All right, I want to bring up. We're going to give Bleacher Report some love here. I'm gonna share my screen.
Oh,
here we go. From Bleacher Report. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/.
Wait, let's see if we can match.
Have they done this already?
They have done. Yeah, they do these mashups. So,
I have 2 that Brinson hasn't said that I like. I think Patriots, Celtics.
Ooh.
Just green and white because there's the Jets, but it'd be funnier because the Patriots would be like laughing at. There we go. Bleacher Report has one.
Oh, that's cool.
That looks good. Shamrock. Look at that.
But you only wear it. No, they don't play on St. Patrick's Day.
You only wear it when you play the Jets.
You're mocking. Yeah, you only wear it when you're playing the Jets. That would be amazing.
This is Pacers.
That one's nice.
So this is done obviously when Andrew Luck was playing.
Yeah, a little outdated. Maybe.
I get down with that Pacers. Oh, that's a cool
like
Rockets.
I think. Yeah. And then you get a throwback one with the Seahawks and the Supersonics.
Oh, that's like
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
One's really cool.
Oh, the Suns one is Suns.
I think
so. I got to watch on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You're just listening to this. You got to watch it YouTube because you can see all of this right now.
Throw some descriptions on it too. But the Suns with an orange helmet and a purple jersey and flames on the shoulder pads.
It looks
that
like
is cool.
It's like Syracuse.
Looks a lot like Syracuse. It's a good call. All right. The Bulls Bears is fantastic.
Yeah,
that's better than the Bears.
That's what the new Falcons uniform should have looked like when they made the changes.
Yeah. This is going to be one I like. The Hornets. Yes, the Hornets and the Panthers.
I do wonder if the Hornets helmet's better as Debo scrolls furiously through these.
All right, hold on. Can we get? Yeah.
If the Hornets helmet better if it's a dark purple as opposed to the aqua blue?
The TE maybe.
Okay, that's my only issue. Otherwise, I like it. I like the shirt.
Yeah, I like the purple in the shirt. The Buccaneers are that's the Heat. Dominican Sue's on Miami in that. I don't care for that.
It needs more juice.
Yeah,
I like the pink idea better. That looks like TCU. That's the Kings.
The Kings is
different cities.
Is that Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick playing football, huh? Well, all right. Knicks as who is
that's
that?
Not that looks like Syracuse.
That looks more like
orange.
That looks more like Boise State a little bit. But,
is that Odell Beckham?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing: is that
That's
better?
fun.
That's the Knicks as the Giants.
I think the Giants uniform looks. I like the Giants uniform better.
The
next one that I just said was fun was the Packers and the Bucks. You got Aaron Rodgers with the antler helmets.
Is that better than the Packers though?
No.
I would like the helmets.
He looks like Cousin Eddie on the Christmas Vacation, like something.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie's awesome.
He looks like an Arena League team, and that is the Pistons and the Lions. Well, the Pistons are just better than the Lions.
Yeah.
Blue jersey, blue helmet, red stripes, red lettering. Is that Calvin Johnson? Yeah.
That looks like UCF, like University of Central Florida. The 76ers.
This is a bad Sixers.
I would like the white,
the blue and the white and the red. Yeah, that one I can get down with. This is the Sixers. This is like Allen Iverson Sixers on the Eagles uniforms, and it looks like Boston College, and it's bad.
The State is the Raiders.
Derek Carr looks fat there.
Here's the thing: it's hard to beat the Raiders uniform anyway.
Yeah, you can't. Nothing's better than
as the kids
silver
say.
and black.
This ain't it.
Yeah. The Maverick. We're not changing the Cowboys into the Dallas.
No.
Sean Bradley Dallas Mavericks.
I'm okay with this just because I know it'll infuriate Cowboys fans. So yeah, let's roll with the green Cowboys uniform.
Teddy Bridgewater, when he was with the Vikings here, dressed up as a Minnesota Timberwolf, and
looks like Seattle.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Seattle. I like that a lot. I just think that I thought about listening to the Timberwolves, but I think the Vikings fans are so enamored with their purple that they wouldn't be down for it.
Yeah, it looks too much like Seattle, but I pull out the effort. So this is New Orleans Pelicans.
Pelicans.
That's
Drew Brees dressed up as a Pelican. Saints uniforms are too clean to do that.
And then this is the Nets. Yes, this I love.
Okay, I didn't see this coming. I didn't think I'd like that.
All black.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, they need to wear that because the Patriots are getting green and white now with the Celtics uniforms.
And the Wizards. Are they still the Wizards?
This might be from like 2013.
Yeah, it really might be. RG3 is the man for the Washington football team.
I would prefer the DC logo there as opposed to the. Are they called the Wizards still? Or are they something else?
They're the Wizards.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering that too. I was like, did they change again?
Because they were the Bullets back in the day.
That's right. And the Bullets was deemed too offensive before the R skins word was.
How about that?
Yeah.
And then
Johnny Manziel. This is there's no definitive timeline for this.
I love the sword down the side of the jersey on the Cavaliers jersey.
It's like the University of Minnesota
with the sword on it.
Gold.
Yeah. And this is the Nuggets as the Broncos. That's Peyton Manning, which is hysterical. He somehow looks older in this uniform.
Yeah.
Nuggets.
They're using these Nuggets. They're using the ABA throwback jerseys for the Nuggets here, which is fine.
Oh, those.
Ooh, Hawks Falcons. I don't care. I give me the Hawks. Give me the Dominique Wilkins Pac-Man Hawks over the Falcons. Yeah,
I was thinking Dominique. The only difference is they have the.
Oh, there's our Sonic Seahawks.
Oh
That's
my!
the one I said
I didn't think about that one.
That's good.
Marshawn Lynch in the Sean Kemp Seattle jersey. That is tight. Although Marshawn looks thick with two C's.
Yeah,
right there.
he's thick. No, that's good. That's good.
That might be my favorite one.
Good stuff, Devo. Way to be prepared there.
Great question, Shakir24. Check it out on the Bleacher Report to see the actual person who did the hard
or
work.
go to youtube.com/pick6 to check it out.
Yeah.
Best NFL pod in town. Love the insight, banter, and tangents. Bronson, but also whoever else is on for this one. Best bang for the buck bourbon. Just found myself an Eagle Rare out here in California for just over $30. Buffalo Trace can be found for $25. What other bourbon should I be looking for in that price range that tastes better for less? Thanks, guys. Well, the answer is nothing. Like if you're getting Buffalo Trace for $25, you're just not getting a better deal than that.
Well, that's
yeah, I mean that's just a great deal, and it's a great.
I was saying that's interesting, and I've told you guys this before, but I'll tell the listener this. My accountant runs a little side hustle called BreakinBourbon.com, where he.
Wait, is that actually your accountant?
Yeah, he's been doing this.
Breaking Bourbon's huge.
I told you about this years ago.
I know you've told me about it for years. I know,
so they started it on a whim, just buddies talking about it. They have a podcast, but anyway, they do all this bourbon, and I said to him like 3 or 4 years ago now. He says I have so much bourbon in my house. He has 2 young kids, so I'll be serving this bourbon in my kids' weddings 15, 20 years from now, whenever they get married. But anyway, that's another place to go. But I was saying, that's interesting, not to you, but because when you go to BreakinBourbon.com, you have to click and say, yes, I'm 21 years old before you're able to see it, which I didn't realize was a thing, but it makes sense. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I just want to give a shout out.
No. I mean, that's like, is he making good cash on this, or is he just get a bunch of free bourbon?
Well, he's an accountant, so he probably getting the most out of it. But I don't ask him. They actually went to Kentucky and bottled. What do you do? How do you make your own bourbon? You barrel your own bourbon. So you do. Yeah. I think they barreled their own stuff a few years ago. But yeah, he that's a great resource for folks like Brinson. I'm not much of a bourbon guy. Are you a bourbon guy, Breech? I
like bourbon. I'm kind of like everything. I like tequila, vodka.
I mean, if you Google bourbon reviews, the first 2 results are Breaking Bourbon.
And they it's a sweet spot. Like, we've been podcasting forever, and we were among the first sports podcasts back in the day, but we stopped and started. These guys were front runners when it came to reviewing bourbon. And they started, I don't know how their podcast is, but I would imagine people listen to that a lot as well. Yeah.
I think when somebody comes out with a new bourbon, they are sending it to these guys immediately.
Right. Exactly. And he says like they get, at least he told me back in the day, a few years ago, like celebrities, they all release their various forms of alcohol, and they'll love to have these guys review it because, as you know how this thing works. If you get it on the review sites and get a good review, that's half the battle. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like, they're basically, they have, just looking at this on here, they have, they do a review like, I don't know, every couple of days.
Oh, great. Yeah. Obviously I don't.
Well, if you go to this website, which we're now pushing, you can look at the reviews based on how much each bottle costs. So you can put the price range in. And so if you're looking for something in the 20s,
this site is so well done. I'm so jealous of this.
is a really good size. It's better.
Yeah.
So in that
So,
$20
you
to
almost say
$29
CBS
range,
Sports. You say this is better than CBS Sports. Is
I
that
was going
what
to say
you're-
than anything you've ever done.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you
as
can
well.
put in the $20 to $29 range. I think is probably the wheelhouse. I don't know if you want to go under $20. I had so here's what I wrote down, and we can compare it with what they have on there. So I wrote immediately. I said Weller, which is Weller.
That
And
is in the $20 to $29 range.
Nice. Weller is fantastic. Nice wheated bourbon. It is along the same lines as Buffalo Trace in terms of you can't find it here. It's just hard to get, but it's probably readily available elsewhere. You can buy it online to be a little bit more expensive, but if you're out in California and apparently this stuff is readily available, Weller would be my first choice. I wrote down Evan Williams single barrel as sort of a sneaky option. People think Evan Williams, they're like, it sounds like frat bourbon, like college bourbon.
That's $20 to $29 as well.
There you go. Yeah, I can find that at the ABC store.
They
here.
actually recommend here. This was going to be I'm in Tennessee. One of the big brands here is George Dickel.
Yeah.
And that is our friends at Breakin Bourbon said that's one of the best you can get for $25 and under.
There you go.
They have two George Dickels on there.
Bullet, Bulleit, the Washington Bullets. That's probably maybe even under 20. Bullet is just a really good house bourbon to have.
Ooh, this is on the 30 to 39. Maybe they've gone up in price.
Okay.
Because my brother-in-law recommended that to me 5 years ago as a cheap bourbon that even someone like me might like.
That's under the 30 to 39. Interesting. Oh, Buffalo Trace falls under 30 to 39 too. And Eagle Rare does too. I mean, yeah. Four Roses. Oh, I see. Four Roses small batch. That's a great bourbon. Probably be 30. It's in the 30, probably $35, something like that.
Let's you got it. 30 to 39.
Yep. I wrote down Four Roses small batch or single barrel. And they also have a small batch select, which is like 49 or 59, I think, which is really good. But
single barrel select is come on. 40 to 49.
There you go. Thank you. I drink a lot of bourbon. High West, a little bit different style, not a Kentucky or Tennessee style, but instead Colorado whiskey. And they have several different High West styles. That's probably it's usually $39.99 maybe.
It's 40 to 49, so maybe it gets just
so with tax, you're probably in your 40s. And then I also wrote down if you're sort of easing into bourbon, and you don't want to go into like fire up Wild Turkey 101 and get your face blasted. I love Basil Hayden, Hayden, Basil like the leaf, 2 words, and it's probably $35 maybe, but it's there's
a bunch of Basil Haydens, the bourbon, the dark rye, the 2x2 Caribbean Reserve,
just the regular one, but it's the proof is a lot lower than your normal bourbon.
This is under the $40 category, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably right.
All right.
But
so one of our mailbags in June is just going to be us taste testing all these bourbons, and you'll see us progressively get drunker.
Maybe I'll get
the show goes on.
Maybe I'll get Breakin Bourbon to join me on the podcast.
Oh.
Get him on here. Tell him to send us some bourbon. But
Chattanooga Whiskey 91 also on here as one of their good values between $30 and $39. I've been trying to buy a lot of Tennessee whiskeys and not the national stuff, and that is one I also like. So I'm glad to see that on the list.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, I went to high school in Chattanooga, right? What is
private school, right?
Yeah, that's right. Where is I didn't see Blanton's on here. Is Blanton Special Reserve there? If you can find Blanton's, that's the way to go. And you should be able to find it out in California, I would think. I only see the Special Reserve, which is $48, but there's a regular Blanton's that is cheaper than that, and I don't see it on here. I see there's 5 Blanton's. There's a Blanton's single barrel, Blanton's gold, Blanton's straight from the barrel. Interesting. There's no
interesting.
You got to get Ryan to drink the bourbon and get the tattoo the same night.
There you go.
Oh, I like that.
Devo's good at multitasking. There you go.
That's true.
Man, they have reviewed a lot of bourbon.
Yeah.
I am so jealous of this. Why didn't I think of this?
It requires hard work. I don't know if that's a stumbling
It requires drinking and writing. I'm good at those things.
at the same time.
Oh yeah. How many articles I've written?
I will say this. The funny thing is, like my accountant, as you would imagine, is very straight laced. He isn't someone that you would imagine going around drinking bottles of bourbon and being sloshy. He's always, very sort of. Like
I would assume that the thing is, if you're doing a bourbon review site, you're not drinking like most of his bourbon. Most of his bourbon is probably, like he's not chugging bourbon. He's not slamming back bourbon. He's tasting bourbon and then moving on to whatever his house bourbon is. If he's,
I see. What's he saving it for?
No, he save it for people come over. He's like, hey, you want to, when his friends come over, they're not like, hey, you want some wine?
What should I bring? To show up.
Yeah. My buddy Garrett has some friends in his neighborhood who are big bourbon guys. And so when he gets together with this group, they all bring a bottle, and these guys all somehow have Buffalo Trace and Blanton's and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. Old Forester, I would add too, is pretty good. I've been drinking some of that. That's been popping up around here lately. So highly recommend that as well. All right.
Brinson, I got another screen share real quick.
Oh, God. What are you going to do to me, Devo?
I just want you guys to check these out.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were about to. I thought this is like I was getting punked out of nowhere.
No. Any chance we can talk a little NBA? I'm excited a little bit, but this is cool. Shout out Digitalize on this one. But we got some options here where they're like swapping with the actual teams.
Is Digitalize a internet website? I assume
this is the designer.
Cool. Oh, cool. Swapping Vikings and.
Like the teams we just did, a little bit more updated. It's not going to Colin Kaepernick.
T-Wolves look like the Titans right there.
Yeah, a little bit. But I like the matte finish. Oh, that's great. The Browns or the Cat. Yeah, that actually.
You need to describe it. Remember, this is an audio podcast.
Yeah, so it's a gray matte finish for the Browns uniform as they take on the Cavaliers for their football jersey. I do miss the store. The Browns jersey on the Cavs basketball player is tight too. It's just very clean.
Pretty clean.
Very clean.
Great one here.
That's the Sixers shirt.
Yeah, I would like a white shirt, I think, for the Sixers. It's a red shirt now.
I like the basketball jerseys better here. I like the Sixers wearing the all-black Eagles uniform.
Yeah. It looks like a Celtics black.
I would prefer if this guy had taken the time to, if you're going to do all this, alter the. It's just changing the name. Like I want the 76. I want to say 76ers on the basketball jersey in like Eagles font.
Oh, all right. Well,
right there.
Guy did a pretty good job.
Yes.
Oh, that's another good Celtics uniform.
Oh, Edelman in the with the Shamrocks is perfect.
As the Patriots, yeah, the Patriots with the black jerseys, green numbers, black helmet, green stripe down the middle. Obviously Celtics. The Celtic isn't a shamrock on the side of the helmet. It's a little Celtics fella.
Wilson, you're so good at this. You should start a breaking jerseys site. Oh man, the Zion Williamson in a Saints jersey is very clean. That looks a lot better than the Pelicans.
I don't hate the Pelicans one. Drew Brees white jersey, grayish numbers.
No, I'm saying that the Saints basketball jersey is better than the Pelicans basketball jersey.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think that's right. I can't see the side of the Saints now helmet. That's the Pelicans, so I can't really comment on that.
Drew Brees doesn't win a Super Bowl if he's a Pelican.
I like these Heat uniforms. Is that Tua in a red Heats jersey, flames on the shoulders, black helmet with the Heats logo in the center? I don't hate that. I like the Heat. I'm
going to say that the two Miami teams look better swapped.
Yeah. The Dolphins uniform is it's iconic. I don't hate it, but yeah, I don't mind this at all.
Did this guy Photoshop some sweat onto Bam Adebayo? Go back up there.
How do you know it's not real sweat?
It's just a Dolphins jersey. That's how. It's a Dolphins basketball jersey, so it's probably not real sweat.
At the top by the collar.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And Luka Doncic. Oh no! The Zeke Elliott in a cartoon Mavs jersey.
I was gonna say the Mavs jersey.
Trash.
It looks like it was designed by someone at Nickelodeon. Like you're going with the slime color
and the Comic Sans.
The Comic Sans. That is what Zeke Elliott is wearing with. I don't hate it. That's the Nickelodeon game. The Cowboys play the Nickelodeon game every year.
Oh, and the green pants too. Look at that. We missed the pants.
You don't love it. You don't love it.
The Cowboys have green breeches now.
You might not hate it, but you don't love it. I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
All right, that's the show. Great mailbag as always. I hope everybody has a great Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll be back on Monday for Mock Draft Monday for Breech and Wilson. I'm Brinson.